what would you do, and what would you say that other archers listening could do to kind of mitigate that a little bit? Because this is the tricky bit. If you've only got 18 meters, you still kind of want to do some scoring. What are some things you can do, to kind of work on the dynamic movement while you're still doing the indoor distance?
First of all, it is decide what is the most important thing to you. Now, if that is you'd like to pick up a medal at Nîmes, or you'd like to go to face-to-face or win some prize money at Vegas, then fine, then accepted that you're going to be an indoor superstar and just get on with it, But if the focus, like with so many of us recurve archers, the focus is outside, everything else around it is just training. You can't, I think shooting with an open ring, a big open ring, so that it's trying to discourage you from doing that super aiming that might deliver those indoor results but punish you outside. You've always got to keep a focus on that timing. So maybe making sure you keep that blank boss training where you're keeping the rhythm. But I know that's really hard because then you're not getting the feedback of where the arrows go. And I mean, any chance you can get during the winter to go outside and just grab that 1 hour, even if, because sometimes it might be still outside, it's freezing cold, but it's not actually windy. Well, if you dress appropriately, you can probably go out there for an hour or so. And if you can do that every week or so and just try and keep that outdoor memory, whereas I used to change my bows, fat arrows, big feathers, heavy points, and just totally focus on that indoor season and then totally switch over. And back then when we didn't have training camps, we didn't have the professional training, it was fine. I just switched from one to the other, and I couldn't shoot outdoors during the winter because all my bows were changed over to trying to win those indoor shoots. So work out what your priorities are, and then keep that like you said, that dynamic movement, whether that's getting outside when you can, keeping that blank boss. Don't let yourself over aim.
Yeah. It's so counterintuitive, isn't it? Because I mean, everyone probably watching this is thinking like, if you're shooting further, then you need to aim better because the target is further away. But it is literally the opposite.
This is not, and that's why I like to tell myself, it's why it took me so long to work it all out, because it's not the way you'd think it'd be. It's not intuitive, and I can't even remember anyone sort of telling me that, or maybe it's quite possible they were telling me this and I wasn't hearing it, because when you're winning prize money and being given medals, who wants to hear that you're going to pay the price outside? who cares? But I don't know. It's interesting. If I went back, I'd definitely try and keep one bow for indoors, one for outdoors, and just try and keep that outdoor mentality through the year. Or just embrace it and just, there's a part of me that thinks, what about if I just embraced indoor shooting and just made that my goal? I could have had an even more successful career. But there we go.
That's super interesting. I definitely encourage anyone like viewing now, I'd say an interesting exercise is to, when you go to an outdoor range, have a session at least where you say, okay, I'm just going to aim on the target and shoot with good timing. Like, I don't care where on the target it is. I'm just going to basically do my shot. Sight pin needs to be on the target and shoot. And you will probably be surprised by the results. It's interesting. I don't know. It feels weird. It feels wrong when you're doing it. It feels like you're going to miss. But it's all
about that movement. This is what being a coach should be. I want you to learn the things that took me 20 years to work out. Exactly, I want you to be fast-tracked, and really that's sort of what coaching boils down to, is I don't want you to have to learn at the speed I learnt at. I want you to take my 20 years and then put your learning on top of that, and that is, if I can save you 5 years trying to work something out, well, that's great. And
that's that progress, isn't it?
Yeah, and now that we have online classes and tutorials like what you do, they just didn't, the amount of information there was back in the 90s when I was learning, there's just nothing, there's so few scraps. Every time I met, a pro or someone who was a former champion, you were just desperate to get any bit of information because it just wasn't out there, so I hope people are learning faster nowadays, you really should do.